In the annals of American crime history, a haunting truth emerges: the existence of individuals capable of unfathomable violence and cruelty. These men, whose names have become synonymous with fear and horror, have left a dark imprint on the nation's psyche. Delving deeper into their stories, we uncover not only the chilling details of their crimes, but also the complex factors that led them down a path of darkness. Exploring their lives provides us with valuable insights into the human condition, reminding us of the importance of vigilance and understanding in the face of malevolence. 1. Al Capone, the rise and fall of a notorious gangster. Al Capone's story, set against the backdrop of Prohibition-era America, paints a vivid picture of a man driven by power and greed. Born into poverty in Brooklyn, New York, Capone's early experiences with crime shaped his destiny. He began his criminal career under the guidance of notorious gangster Johnny Toro, and when Prohibition became law in 1919, Capone saw a lucrative opportunity in the illegal alcohol trade. Capone's rise to power occurred when he moved to Chicago with Toro, aiming to profit from the booming illegal alcohol market. Under Capone's ruthless leadership, the Chicago Outfit, the criminal organization he controlled, expanded rapidly. His most infamous act, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929, where 7 men were brutally executed, solidified his reputation as one of the most feared gangsters in American history. Despite his involvement in numerous violent crimes, it was tax evasion that led to Capone's downfall. In 1931, he was convicted and sentenced to prison. His legacy serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of unbridled ambition and criminality, showcasing the ultimate downfall of even the most powerful crime bosses. 2. Ted Bundy, the charmer with a dark heart. Ted Bundy, often described as charming and handsome, lured his victims with a facade of normalcy before revealing his true, sinister nature. Born in Vermont in 1946, Bundy's early life appeared unremarkable, but beneath his pleasant exterior, he harbored violent fantasies. His modus operandi involved feigning injury or disability to gain the trust of his victims, predominantly young women. Throughout the 1970s, Bundy committed a series of horrifying crimes across multiple states, including Washington, Utah, and Florida. His victims, often college-aged women, fell prey to his manipulative tactics. Bundy's ability to evade capture for years highlighted his cunning and intelligence. He frequently revisited the locations of his crimes, leaving communities in constant fear. Bundy's arrest in 1975 marked the beginning of the end of his killing spree. He was eventually convicted of multiple counts of murder and sentenced to death. His execution in 1989 served as a grim reminder of the dangers posed by individuals with charismatic exteriors hiding malevolent intentions. 3. Timothy McVey, the face of domestic terrorism. Timothy McVey's transformation from a decorated Gulf War veteran to a domestic terrorist shook the foundation of American society. Born in 1968, McVey's disillusionment with the government and extremist views drove him to commit one of the deadliest acts of domestic terrorism in U.S. history. Motivated by his resentment towards perceived government overreach, McVey orchestrated the Oklahoma City bombing on April 19, 1995. The explosion outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building resulted in 168 deaths, including 19 children, and injured over 500 people. McVey, showing no remorse during his trial, justified the bombing as an act of war against what he perceived as a tyrannical government. McVey's execution in 2001 served as a somber reminder of the dangers posed by radicalized individuals within society. His story underscored the importance of recognizing the signs of extremism and the need for collective efforts to prevent acts of domestic terrorism. 4. John Gotti, the mob boss with charisma. John Gotti, known as the Dapper Don and the Teflon Don, became a notorious figure in the American Mafia. Born in the Bronx, New York in 1940, Gotti's initiation into the criminal world began at an early age. His rise in the Gambino crime family was marked by a series of violent crimes and power struggles. Gotti's most audacious move occurred in 1985 when he orchestrated the assassination of the then boss, Paul Castellano. This bold move catapulted Gotti to the position of the boss of the Gambino crime family. His flamboyant style, charisma, and relentless criminal activity made him one of the most dangerous men in America. However, Gotti's luck ran out in 1992 when his underboss, Salvatore "Sammy the Bull" Gravano, turned state's evidence against him. In 1992, Gotti was convicted on charges of murder and racketeering, receiving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. His death in prison in 2002 marked the end of an era, but his legacy continues to captivate public interest, symbolizing the allure and danger of organized crime. 5. Jeffrey Dahmer. The Milwaukee Cannibal's horrifying legacy. Jeffrey Dahmer, known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster, was an American serial killer and sex offender whose gruesome crimes shocked the nation. Born in 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Dahmer exhibited troubling behavior from an early age. However, it wasn't until his late teens and early adulthood that his dark impulses turned deadly. Dahmer's reign of terror spanned from 1978 to 1991, during which he targeted young men and boys. He lured them into his home under false pretenses and subjected them to horrifying acts of violence. Dahmer's crimes included not only murder but also sexual assault, necrophilia, and dismemberment. His depravity reached a new level when he confessed to acts of cannibalism, claiming it would keep his victim's essence with him. Despite his seemingly ordinary appearance, Dahmer's monstrous personality became evident through his heinous acts. His arrest in 1991 and subsequent conviction for multiple counts of murder brought a chilling reminder of the evil that can reside in the human psyche. Dahmer's story serves as a stark and terrifying cautionary tale about the depths of human depravity. 6. David Berkowitz, the Son of Sam's reign of terror. David Berkowitz, infamously known as the Son of Sam, terrorized New York City during the mid-1970s. Born in Brooklyn in 1953, Berkowitz's descent into crime began in 1976 when he embarked on a year-long killing spree. During this period, he killed 6 people and wounded 7 others in a series of random shootings. Berkowitz's victims, typically young women with dark hair, were chosen seemingly at random, leading to widespread panic. He taunted law enforcement and the public through letters left at crime scenes and sent to local newspapers, signing them as the Son of Sam. The city was gripped by fear as residents altered their appearances, dyeing their hair blonde to avoid becoming his next target. The police, in a relentless pursuit, finally captured Berkowitz in 1977. He confessed to the shootings, claiming he was commanded to kill by a demon that possessed his neighbor's dog. Berkowitz's arrest brought a sense of relief to the city, but the scars left by his reign of terror lingered, reminding society of the unpredictability of violence and the importance of vigilance in urban environments. 7. James Whitey, Bulger, the gangster and FBI informant. James Whitey. Bulger's life was a complex web of crime, corruption, and betrayal. Born in 1929 in Boston, Bulger rose to power as the leader of the Winter Hill Gang, a notorious criminal organization involved in various illegal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and racketeering. What set Bulger apart was his status as an FBI informant, providing the agency with information about the Italian mafia while continuing his own criminal endeavors. This dual role allowed him to operate with impunity for years, committing heinous crimes without fear of law enforcement interference. Bulger's cunning and ruthlessness made him a formidable figure in the criminal underworld. In 1994, sensing imminent arrest, Bulger fled Boston and remained a fugitive for 16 years. During this time, he continued his life of crime while evading capture. In 2011, he was finally apprehended in Santa Monica, California. Bulger's trial in 2013 revealed the extent of his crimes and his collaboration with the FBI. In 2018, he was found dead in his prison cell, marking the end of a dark chapter in American crime history. Bulger's story serves as a chilling reminder of the blurred lines between law enforcement and organized crime and the far-reaching consequences of such alliances. 8. Aryan Brotherhood, the menace within prison walls. The Aryan Brotherhood, a white supremacist prison gang, emerged within the American prison system, spreading its influence through violence and intimidation. Founded in the 1960s in California's San Quentin State Prison, the gang's primary objective was to protect white inmates and promote white supremacist ideologies. Inside prison walls, the Aryan Brotherhood became a powerful force, controlling drug trafficking, extortion, and other criminal activities. Their influence extended beyond prison, reaching communities through illegal enterprises. The gang's members, recognizable by their tattoos featuring Nazi symbols and other white supremacist imagery, instilled fear in both inmates and prison staff. 9. Larry Hoover, the godfather of street gangs. Larry Hoover, also known as King Larry, played a pivotal role in the rise of street gangs in Chicago. Born in 1950, Hoover co-founded the Gangster Disciples, a notorious street gang during the 1960s. Under his leadership, the gang expanded its criminal empire, engaging in drug trafficking, extortion, and violent crimes. Hoover's ability to maintain control over the Gangster Disciples, even from behind bars, showcased his influence within the gang. He orchestrated criminal activities and violence while serving time in prison, highlighting the challenges faced by law enforcement in dismantling such powerful criminal organizations. In 1997, Hoover was convicted of drug conspiracy, extortion, and continuing to engage in a criminal enterprise. He received multiple life sentences, effectively ending his reign as the godfather of street gangs in Chicago. However, the Gangster Disciples and similar gangs continue to pose significant challenges to law enforcement and community safety, emphasizing the need for comprehensive strategies to combat gang violence. 10. Gary Ridgeway, the Green River Killer's terrifying spree. Gary Ridgeway, known as the Green River Killer, was an American serial killer who terrorized the Pacific Northwest during the 1980s and 1990s. Born in 1949, Ridgeway's troubled upbringing and disturbed psyche paved the way for his heinous crimes. His victims were primarily young women, many of whom were sex workers or runaways, making them vulnerable targets. Ridgeway's killing spree, which lasted for more than 2 decades, resulted in the deaths of at least 49 women. He strangled his victims and often disposed of their bodies in wooded areas, earning his notorious moniker from the Green River, where several victims were found. Ridgeway's ability to blend into society and his meticulous efforts to avoid detection allowed him to evade capture for years. In 2001, advancements in DNA technology led to Ridgeway's arrest. He eventually confessed to the murders of 48 women, leading investigators to the locations of several victims' remains. Ridgeway pleaded guilty to the charges and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As we reflect on the lives and crimes of these 10 men, a somber truth emerges. The depths of human malevolence know no bounds. Each story serves as a cautionary tale, urging society to remain vigilant and proactive in the face of such darkness. Understanding the complex interplay of factors that lead individuals down the path of violence is crucial in preventing future tragedies. These narratives, though chilling, provide valuable insights into the human psyche, reminding us of the importance of empathy, vigilance, and a collective commitment to building a safer society for all.